In front of Western Empire, Cool Sign Mav, I'm Thunderstruck and Dragon Leap, but Snap Dancer, 100 metres to go, still clear. I'm Thunderstruck wearing it down. Snap Dancer needs the line, but won it.
Welcome to Bet Doctor Behind the Curtain. Look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host, Scoot. This show's brought to you by TopSport and Punting Form, and I'm joined in studio. I'm back in God's country. I'm at the Gold Coast with Johnny Walter.
Mate, I still see you got the split lips there from seeing Shaq last week. That's all right. Good to see you back down here, and good to see DK living the life that everyone, else should be living, and I'm still in the dungeon on the Gold Coast.
Just battling. I tell you what, big happy birthday to DK during the week. How are you, birthday boy?
Oh yeah, I'm 48 now. I'm feeling every single bit of it, but I've gone pretty hard for the last 30 years or so, you'd have to say. But birthday was good. I got a good spoil. I won't say polish; that'll upset Walt's missus. I got a good spoil off the missus and the kids and all that. So that's half the fun when you got the kids and how they handle. And went out for a beautiful lunch to Gimlet, as I said. So that was lovely. All good, Scoop.
What about you, Nico? How's the secondary car market? Have you found a car yet?
Still no car, so we're still battling there, but got to back a few more winners if we want to buy a car by the seams of things. But anyway, we're just battling away down here at Melbourne. Wet tracks. Hopefully it gets a bit drier on sort of Saturday and the next week, but it's been a bit cast down here recently.
Completely cast.
Good news in Victoria, uniform deductions. I see a few people blowing up saying they're still a bit steep, the deductions. How have you found the deductions in Victoria, you lads?
I only started, yesterday or the day before, didn't they? And I haven't had a bet yet.
Yeah,
I haven't had a time to be handled. All my fresh in my mind was when I took 420-something last week, and then the thing I was potting come out and I copped 30 cents out of that. So that's fresh in my mind at the moment. And anyway, so I'll wait till I cop one of these new bet makers deductions. I heard bet makers are doing it, so I'm still holding my breath about that. But anyway, we'll see. Have you've spoken to anyone who's copped a deduction?
I haven't had an early bet yet either, so I haven't sort of spoken to anyone, but I'm sure by Saturday there'll be a few stories about it.
There was some pretty good feedback around our State of the Game show with Richie Irvine. We won't go into too much detail, but it seems to be doing the rounds now, I guess, in the broader media, so hopefully change is coming. I know Tristan's a little bit more confident with RQ, which is good, and I did see a little note from Riverbet. It's closed its doors, so Ray Swanee and Frank Hudson have thrown the towel in, too hard basket, which I thought was interesting. Those guys are pretty sharp bookmakers. If they can't get it to work, I guess our prediction might be right. It could be a house of cards, some of these pop-up startups. DK.
I would think Hudson and Swanee are big turnover, like they had big clients, you know what I mean? So the high turnover, that model is obviously the issue, I would say.
Okay. DK?
Yeah, well, just back to the feedback on last week's show, I'm sure everyone said it was short and punchy and, straight to the point, so that would have been the main feedback about that. But no, I had lunch with Frank. I had a steak with him when a month ago, it wasn't at Scoot, and he was sounding alarm bells then at after that initial sort of sugar hit, which happens with the new startups, that it all looked like it was going to get a bit hard. And they hadn't gone big on their startup costs like a lot of the others who've gone in with the bet maker stuff. That's not cheap. They'd gone with the other lesser software just to sort of dip their toe in the water and see how it was. And from what he was going there, he said, well, this one might get a bit hard, especially with the few different things coming up like the National Self-Exclusion Register and having to go up, on 10 a.m. on the trots to suit the sharps and all that sort of thing. It was all going to get a bit difficult to manage. So, and they're not big marketing types, and they're not big, Frank, and they're the old-fashioned bookies. They're not taking blokes out to lunch and trying to sign up 1 million clients and all that. So, so it was no real surprise after what sort of Frank...
Still be on the track, like still doing that sort of operation? Or
Ray, I think Ray will be one. Ray,
yeah,
Frank
he's always out there.
Frank, how often you see Frank? I know he says he still goes to Warrnambool and still does a few odd meetings, but I assume they still enjoy it, but I think it was... Yeah, they weren't enjoying that.
All right, we'll push through because there's plenty of good racing. And a quick look in the rearview mirror. The Memsey was an interesting contest. Snap Dancer won a waltz, pinched it. Nice ride with Ethan Brown, and one of Nico's old horses on Thunderstruck came roaring down the outside, but it was all over too late. Any horses to follow from last Saturday? Waltz, Snap Dancer, Everest horse. Would you?
The best thing about Snap Dancer was the time and everything around it. Probably, I thought to win the race it would have to sort of pinch it, and he dead set. I don't know how they let that fell. I know he he got it right kind of on Saturday, but he looks terrible on that Ethan, whatever. But that horse is just a freak.
Are you serious? You pot me Brown.
Oh, mate, he's steady. He's steady. He rolled back the inside, nearly fell off with 100 to go. It looked like a 4 kilo claimant, but she's a good horse.
Everest, can it win one?
Maybe it's just me looking over the fence. Everest?
Yeah.
No.
That's only one horse can win the Everest, can't it? That's about it.
Yeah, probably.
You wouldn't be holding those 7 slots. There's already 5 locked in. You wouldn't want to be holding the last 7 slots, I tell you.
There was a few. Not so much in the Memsy. I'm Thunderstruck was really good. A bit sick for Scooty. He was in my DMs all week saying I'm Thunderstruck's immoral. So Scoot nearly got the prize there. But I thought Gentleman Roy ran really well first up. I think he'll probably be right in one of his next starts. There was a few that were sort of pretty obvious that ran well, but I'd be a little bit forgiving of Western Empire. I think he was ridden a bit upside down there. I wouldn't be shocked if he sort of bounced back, and even Alligator Blood for the Mackay Diva. I wouldn't be shocked if that race is a bit more competitive than a few of the markets earlier saying. A few of the horses there look overs. Cascadian ran them really well. So, yeah, looking forward to that. And there might even be a chance Animo comes down for the Mackay Diva if everything sort of falls his way and doesn't go to plan in Sydney. So, it's all starting to heat up in Melbourne.
I hate that. So we had about 2 weeks we hadn't mentioned that horse's name. He had to bring it up. And I'm just trying to fire me up, Nico. But anyway.
It's his spring, DK. It's his spring.
Please, don't get me started, mate. Benno just flew past him after the line the other day and it was back on the inside. Like, that's it. Anyway, don't get me started. Worry about it next time he runs.
Old Timmy Clark will be down there to ride that horse in 2 weeks. It'll be interesting. He sort of looked after it. It was a bit of a weird ride.
Which horse?
Alligator Blood, obviously didn't have a lot of luck. He sort of looked after him. I don't think Gay was...
Not have been trying in the sort of the Alligator camp. I don't think they're out there to win on the weekend, so can't wait to see it on a bigger track. What were you going to say, DK?
Warwick Nabil, there's a couple were in all right at Warwick Nabil, Nico. That's where I was watching. A thing called Captain Envious, the thing Paul Prushka got off Danny O'Brien, a staying type. First up for him at a mile, sort of rounded him up like a nice horse, and Prushka's horses generally improving to their preps onto bigger tracks up in distance. I thought he was one for the punters, and there was a first starter there, or you might have seen it off the trials, but drew barrier 12 or 12 Shipstern, Corstons. Barrier 12 or 12, and they still wanted to back it, like started 6-4 against a thing that was rock solid, and it rounded them up as well, so it might have plenty of talent. So for the black bookers, for the people who, $3 is the same at Warwick Nabil as it is in Caulfield, so try to chalk them down.
We
I
saw
thought they might be
a
improving
pretty hot
tops.
combo going around at Warwick Nabil, didn't we? The Yendel back, punching a few round for Pruska. That
was good. I thought the first favourite, I thought I was 6-4 or, might even get, a bit better. And no, they threw it up evens or something, so sort of killed that. But Yendel, he's back Yendel, and he's been, because he hasn't been venturing far from home riding all his work, so he's been riding Prushka. That is a dream team, the Prushka and Yendel, because Prushka's been cactus because he's just got C pulls and he hasn't got any riders, so. Follow his horses maybe into the early part of the spring in the bush.
Good little egg flip there. And my tip is puntingform.com.au. It's got a nice little black book service, and it's the ultimate comparison tool, so you can get the class benchmark sectionals and check out all the dual noms and things like that. So without punting form, I think you're guessing a touch. A little bit of trackscran this week. We'll put the first image up, or it's a... I'll tell you what, I don't know. We might have the.
It can't be over $5. That.
Tell you what, that's DK's happy birthday lunch at Gimlet. That's the
what's
entree, the lobster?
The entree.
That was the wood-fired rock lobster, Walt. The wood-fired rock lobster, magnificent. Just straight. That was on the back off the steak tartare with the anchovies. That just set us up for him to brush home on the lobster and. Was he doing any good Gimlet? Oh, yeah. Hard to beat. Value. That was value up over under how much it was, but it was value. Especially, I reckon it's value compared to that brisket roll anyway.
What's the go with the brown stuff through the lettuce there? Is that, what's that? What's going on there? It's no good.
Where? The
rocket, isn't it? And the mesquite.
Yeah, the salad.
It was just chips and salad. I don't know what sort of salad it was, but that came with the steak tartare.
I think this is the winner for the week. This is a real track scran. This is $15. Beef brisket, fried onions and slaw, and that's at the Moonee Valley members. So
you got to wash the glasses after it to get the discount or something. What's the go there?
Just perched up at the bar there.
I'll tell you what, it looks like my old man because he's got 2 schooners lined up there. He's had half of one while he was pouring the other. That's what it looks like. Definitely my old man would be doing that.
If $15, that would want to be melting in your mouth, that brisket. It looks a little bit like meatloaf to me, a little bit thick there. So it would want to be, soft and melt in your mouth. Proper brisket with a bit of fat through it and all that. So it'd be a taste test there, $15. I tell you what, that you wouldn't say that's value. I wouldn't have thought.
Got a little video here. DK, run us through this little bit video here, the steak tartare. Can we get that up on screen?
Oh, the video. You got the video off the missus. So the steak tartare, the beautiful raw Wagyu steak, and he puts the aioli in the makes it. He makes it all at the table, and then he said anchovies, and I thought, yeah, I don't mind anchovies. Put them on top. Well, the anchovies really. You put a little bit of anchovy on top of the steak tartare. Mate, sets it off. Flavour bomb. Walton you, flavour bomb. Absolute flavour bomb, the anchovies. So, that was an absolute treat. Comes to the table and prepares all that. And, you get your fries and your bit of, these beautiful sort of toast, the really thin toast. You can sort of put it on as not a pate sort of thing, but, magnificent, the steak tartare. And you got to find it when you get to the French joints, the grouse joints. Hard to beat.
I would have said the bill might somewhere be, I think, 500 would be too steep. I think the line would be 425 if there's just 2 years. 425, 450, I reckon, that mark. What do you reckon, Bob?
No, 600 plus. He's drinking red.
Oh, when it comes to those joints, it's all how hard you go on the wine. You know that, Scooty. So we sort of bet up a bit on the wine. It was my birthday and my missus was shouting. So he got the sommelier over and said, we're going to have the lobster and the steak tartare. What do you recommend? He said, I drink Chardonnay. And he said, Pinot. So I had a beautiful Pinot from down the Mornington Peninsula, Tractor joint, whatever it's called, 10 minutes by Tractor. You heard of it, Nico? It's beautiful wine. They make beautiful wine down there. So had a lovely bottle of red and then got into the, we had to have the affogato. Had to brush home on the affogato with the liqueur and everything. And then I got a beautiful port, a lovely port there. And then down to the Western for an espresso martini straight after that. Reminded me of the old days. Mark Reed used to live in the Western when I worked for IAS, and we had a Christmas party there. He lived in the penthouse upstairs, so brought back some memories popping into the Western for an espresso martini. Scoot, I could have easily settled in there, tell you that. So no, very nice. My wife looked after me a treat on the birthday, so it was lovely.
Outstanding. All right, we've settled into the show. Everyone's nice and warmed up. Let's.
Beck and I had 3 sausages and shared a Hulk juice that night. That was great. Yeah.
Just shows you teetotalers miss out, I tell you. Absolutely miss out.
She can't believe it. She's never had the Hulk juice. She's on the 8-week challenge at the moment, so no sugar in that. She's had a Hulk juice the other day. She's like, what, how good, how long's this been going on? She likes it now.
Sugar-free cordial for those new to the show. Lime cooler cordials, the Hulk juice. Manscaped, for those new to the show, I tell you what, I just whacked this up the beak and now my nose is nice and clear. Coming into the warmer weather up here at the Gold Coast. It's fantastic, and you can just get the pills done with the lawnmower. So 20% off manscaped.com. You get the lawnmower and the weed whacker for under $100. 20% off if you put in Little Birdie as the code. It is absolutely brilliant. So no embarrassing moments if you're trying to chat up a bird in a bar or the missus if you're on a good thing. She'll love you even more with the Manscaped, so make sure you check that out. Today's show, we'll get there eventually, is Don is great. No joy on Gold Coast show day. So a bit of a horror show for poor old Donny. Bit of bad luck there. Back 2 horses and weren't the best rides. There's a fair bit of banter through the Twitter sphere. But I guess one for DK because it's been some interesting things happen with some jockeys in some real lower grade racing at the moment. One bloke might have done his career. How do you cope with the bad rides in the lower grade racing? I pull my hair out a lot, but there seems to be a lot more pilot error versus that in the big races.
Are you talking to Walt? Talk to me?
Yeah, or you, DK. How do you handle it? Or is it a good thing? You find more winners?
No, we don't really have that problem down here. Like I can't remember the last time I blew up about a ride down here. Because you got the A graders and then you got the B graders, but you've got blokes like Jay Mott who just rarely get it wrong and things like that. And I was just trying to think, Saturday Provincial's probably the one where you get the sort of C graders and then you've got to make a decision, where's the horse going to map and, can this bloke just do the job? So if you're going to back an average jock from a wide barrier, from a horse who's going to set middle field or worse, well, you know what you're going to get. But if he's going to go forward and, it's just taking it, like our riding stocks down here are so strong that, I know there's a couple of bluing about rides yesterday. Things got back, or Cyclone Sally or something, Nico, where they bluing about it. But it wasn't an A grader, was it?
That's apprentice.
It's an apprentice.
Missed the start and then sort of chewing forward after that. But yeah, I think
But people who follow my stuff, I'm looking for jockey upgrades, not jockey downgrades. That's a lot of the time, and the good jockey sticks after having a feel for the horse and it not going right start before. So I've Yeah, I've been through all that, mate. I've scooped. I mean, I'm an old timer at it now, but I used to blow up big time about the riders and things like that. But I've sort of gone all past that now.
Yeah, New South Wales is completely cast. The horses, the jockeys. Like once you get out wide, it's cast. Like you honestly, if you got to hope for a 3 out of 10, and then you're like you've backed a winner, and then the horse has got to win. It's not good.
Speaking of 3 out of 10, what happened to Grace and Harmony? It felt like Australia was on it. What went wrong there?
Waller. How do you know? You give it a bad ride and it was in the wrong spot, but like the way the track turned out was horrific, like that inside section, but the horse has gone 800 out. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And the weird part is there's money for them. You know, like they just drive you mad. You just can't work that stable out, but you never wanted to be on it from an inch out. And then even like if you want to use your cynical brain and go back and work out what might have happened or what horse maybe was more fancy, that really makes sense. I just can't. That stable just drives you mad.
Beautiful. I'm no doubt you'll tip a couple of Waller
Well, there's
runners
one in
today.
on Saturday, isn't there? I've sort of I've warmed you up. I'm like, my God, how does this get beat? But you know, you're just it'll go 200 metres and you'll put your head through a wall.
We'll be back for a lay of the week, so make sure you check at bet.tv or it'll come through on your email. That'll come out later today when Tristan posts up the market. But
You know, all the new bookies in that, the Totes got a fair workout. They're at Caulfield on Saturday with I Wish I Win and Mahumnik and a few others that were just absolutely smashing the betting. I Wish I Win started 250, I think, on a few of the Totes. Like,
Just steamers, weren't they?
just
Absolutely proper
relentless.
steamers. Proper steamers.
Western Empire was very well backed in the Memsey. Passive Aggressive was like steamed late on Betfair, like absolutely off the map.
It was crazy, the money for it, like, wasn't it? It was like, yeah.
yeah, I tell you what, Clint Hutchison must be money bag.
Another winner
He filmed
Hutchie.
Hutchie's Honkers.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Got it. The studio fee for the Little Birdie, the Hutchie's Honkers show, it's just gone up. I'm just going to have to whack 20% POC tax on it. Poor old Hutchies.
Don't talk
I'll
about
tell you
POC
what a
tax.
sting that is. $21, $23 into $4 or $5.
And
Hey?
one like that was value.
Casper Founds, Hutchie, Nick Ryan. Wow, that's how you do it.
B shin, mate. B shin.
Yeah,
What a ride.
just went through a brick wall, didn't it? Beautiful.
Had 5 rides Saturday. One of them was Lincoln Square, who jumped out awful and did nothing. The other 4 ran a place, and most of them, they were all $6 plus, most of them double figures, and still rode a double.
I just noticed, I just twigged when he's coming to the bush riding a couple hour. He just owned at sale the other day or something. He went there for Gay and whatnot, and he just dead set. Just so well ridden, some of them. So well ridden.
I don't think he's made a decision yet if he's staying or going back to Sydney or
hasn't
anything,
he?
but
No,
for
I
the
think
punters in Victoria, he should definitely stay.
Absolutely.
big chance he's staying, I think.
All right. Make sure you get an account with TopSport this weekend. They've got best of the best top luck and odds to win 5,000 on all the Group 1s. So it's a one-stop betting shop if you're a serious punter. And it's just better to support local owned bookies. The Aussies, so get around topsport.com.au. They help us get on and support the show. Moonee Valley this week, rail true, Nico. What track conditions are you expecting before we slip into the Feehan Stakes?
On pace, I think you want to be on Saturday.
And maybe a soft 5, 6? Good
I
fall.
would say, if I had to bet, I'd probably say it's going to be a 5, but hard to know with Melbourne.
Beautiful. Feehan Stakes, 1,600 metre race. Mr. Brightside's open up favourite here, $2. Earlswood, $3.90. Inspirational Girl, 5. Spanish Mission, 8. Forgot You, 14.34. Sound. No replays here, but Mr. Brightside was really good. And PB Lawrence, can anything beat him? And Earlswood's an interesting runner, actually. I think its first ever start was $20 into $16 for memory, won and then put away. Did he have an issue or something?
Yeah, I think he may have had an issue come that. I think they were going for the Australian Cup or a race like that, and then they sort of put him away. And he looks kind of short here at 390, but he's a horse that has a lot of good world class form. I think he ran 4th in an Arc or something like that overseas. So a big race over there. Look, Mr. Brightside, he looks hard to beat, doesn't he? Sort of $2. I think he'll probably lead this race. I would say the only threat of him getting beat is if Willow goes too slow or something like that.
It's happened in the past.
Just small fields, they're just... I don't know how you feel with small fields and short price favourites, DK, but it just seems to be stuff can go wrong when you just don't think it can.
You're right. It's because of the tactics and the tempos and things. Like they're just not. They're different ball games, different race shape or whatever you want to call it, circumstances, whatever. Then they'd much rather a big field like the where you can put it in the 1-1 and nice genuine tempo and all that. So he might have to make a decision there because I don't know if Earlswood will roll up unless they're crawling, and he won't want him to crawl Craig.
Well, he crawled in the Blamey, and they went very slow. They went like 10 below to the
I think
600.
he learned his lesson.
An inspirational girl beat him. So she's in the race here. She's first up. Like she's unbeaten second up. She was second up in the Miami. So first up's probably not her go, but she showed she probably has a better turn of foot than him. So
might have trained that out of her. It's either trying to stretch her out to the
Caulfield Cup.
So 2,400, she mightn't be as sharp at a mile first up.
Yeah, I think I couldn't knock anyone wanting to pile into Mr. Brightside at $2 saying they marked him $1.60 or something like that, because I can see that angle, and I could see a planet where he gets beat just because nothing might go his way, and it's a weird small race.
That's right.
I'm very grey, very grey.
Well, yeah, and the only knock, say if there is a knock, was that he wasn't that impressive first up.
Yeah,
like he only just beat Superman, things like that. But the thing was, you said from the yard,
he was in like 80% fit.
He was vulnerable. Yeah. So he's done a good job to get away with it, you're saying, and so he can, it's sort of a bit of a bonus win that was.
Forgot you, the trial behind Passive Aggressive. I know she's failed, but he's been scratched a couple of times. Any mail from Aussie, or is this horse a knockout at $14?
No, it's one of my old horses. Forgot you. I was kicking up for it through the autumn, but no, I'll have a 6 month, unfortunately, 6 month hiatus from Aussie at the moment. Because
maybe you got to start like a cricket team or something.
Well, we've got the cricket. I don't know if we'll bring him down to the cricket, but cricket starts next week. Don't muck around. Like footy's over and straight into cricket. Training starts next week. But yeah, so no. But look, they're full first up. Like that's all. He's preparing for races down the track where you've got Mr. Brightside, he did something big odds, $13.
There seems a lot of intent here because this is like golden ticket into the Cox Plate, which is kind of astonishing given the field. But they've set him for this race. They said, we want to win the Feehan to get into the Cox Plate. Yeah, he missed the first up run because they thought it was going to be too wet. Had a real good jump out. Well, had a good trial behind Passive Aggressive, then a real searching jump out the other day at Cranbourne where he won by sort of 4 or 5, I think, and led them up. So I think he's probably the other horse here with a lot of intent to win this race with Mr. Brightside. The rest are first up pretty much. Like I know Forgot You's first up, but they've said the Feehan is a good kickoff and we want the golden ticket in. So
and it just hasn't, like, it's $500,000 Group 2 with the golden ticket and the $1 million bonus if you can win the Feehan and the Cox Plate, and it's got 6 runners. And so Michael Brown was talking on the radio, Scoot's favourite player was talking on the radio on the way in about, the issues with the race and where it's placed at the moment and the glut of similar races. So, but it is disappointing they didn't get a stronger field.
It's no surprise. The race is just the wrong time of year. Completely wrong options. Spot.
Yeah. And too many options.
And there's too many options, and it's just everywhere's just awash with prize money. So, all right, let's keep cracking in here. Race 8 is the next one that we're going to have a look at, the Atlantic Jewel. Skip over the McEwen. I think Donny's Best has found a horse in there. But the Drummond Golf Handicap, Uncle Bryn's favourite here, $2.35. Military Expert, $3.80. Mayfair Spirit, $7.50. Nerve Not Verve, $15. And Sosie Bond, $15. Shot Irish, $16. Nico. The replay we're going to have a look at here is
this was
Expert.
First up at Caulfield last start. I thought this was a fighting win from Military Expert, just sort of sat outside the leader. I think crucially to his chances on Saturday and this day is the winkers went on. And it just seems like he's got a bit more sort of fighting qualities when this went on. Good form out of this race. Al Rocco's run second out of it since. So Risque, the horse in the black cap down the outside. He ran well in the BM78 behind Muhamnik as well. I thought he was every chance to get beat here, and he's kind of lifted back off the canvas. 4-2 is the second fastest of the race. 2 to the post, he's the 9th fastest. I think he kind of won that on a bit of willpower, just getting past the other horse. I think the winkers has really sort of switched him on. He tried really well leading to this prep, and then the winkers going on there. Jamie Carsticks, he won second up over 1,500 metres last prep. If this was 1,500, I'd be pretty keen on him. A mile really brings the second pick, Uncle Bryn, into the game. I think there's only 2 chances, but with the big map advantage, dropping 4 kilos in the weights, being second up, all those kind of things, I think there's a few ticks in Military Expert's corner, and this track could be a bit leaderish, or at least on speed. I think Sosie Bond will probably lead him. I think he's probably outside lead. Military Expert here should get every possible chance, and he's not the most genuine horse. He's had his doubts throughout his career, but I think he finds a pretty good setup here to go 2 for 2. I'm team Annabelle on Saturday. I found 2 of hers, so hopefully she's having a big day with Zaki back and all those things. So yeah, I think he finds a really good setup there. Like I said, 1,500, I'd be pretty confident that he could just hold off Uncle Bryn. The end of a mile, I think it's going to get close, but I thought he probably should be favourite.
I found this horse late in the last sort of 20 minutes, 3 trials and ready to go first up. You have any opinion here, Walt?
Military?
Mm.
Yeah, a bit like
wary about 1600 maybe.
Yeah, and he needs everything to go his way.
Mm.
And then even then, some days he just doesn't. He's not the same horse. He's a bit of a
had the PR
funky
last
horse.
start.
Just doesn't
So
turn
I think
up.
he'll get the PR again. So that's why I'm sort of backing him in. He does seem like he needs that run to win, but I think it's going to happen again. Yeah, he ran well in the Lawrence.
And Uncle Byrne or Bryn
sort of got back and hit the line. He was the fresh blood there, and they sort of backed him into $8. I'm not sort of trusting that SP too much. I think it was a bit wrong in hindsight. I think they were just sort of looking for something outside the obvious to back there. Look, he ran well, but I'm questioning the form. The figures out of it aren't great. Like I said, Mr. Brightside was pretty underdone, and apart from that, it wasn't much of a race. So he's going to be giving Military Expert a head start. I think the mile brings him right into play, but I think Military Expert with the tactical advantage in what could be a very tactical race, I'm happy to side with him at nearly $4.
I just reverse to race 6 is the Atlantic Jewel, and I'm loving you here over 1,200 metres. His favourite, $4 into 360. A little bit luckless last start. Troach, $6. Lady Laguna, $6.50. Boogie Dancer, $7. Nanagui is $11. Revolutionary Miss, $11. Clarity, $17. And then you got Varvia, $18. Portray is $19. And then you got Tonight at $21. And better the rest. Much better the rest. I think the replay we're going to have a look at here in the horse that Nico's identified here is Lady Laguna, as he said, Annabelle Neesham. You can see I'm loving you back in the pink with the purple cap as well. But Nico, take us away. OTI colours.
Yeah, I think when you look at this race and you watch this replay, you look who sort of comes from behind her, bound for home, oh high, flash at her, I'm loving you. You know, was a bit unlucky, but they all sort of had very economical runs in behind the speed. Lady Laguna was the only on-speed horse to really kick on. She went 7.5 lengths above to the 600 when I'm loving has only gone 4.5. So she's done a lot more work in that early part of the race, and they've still pretty much crossed the line together with a big sort of thing on Saturday that it could just be a massive advantage to be on speed. She's going to be there again outside lead, I'd imagine. Lady Laguna sits. I thought the first up run was very credible. She's the best of the on-paces. Definitely tick 1,200 getting for I'm Loving You. That's probably, one thing that's in her corner that you can definitely give the tick to. But, just given the runs they had there first up, I thought Lady Laguna was very good given the circumstances of the race. And I think 1,200 is going to suit her. You look back through her career form, she kind of has the A-grade fillies form around Fireburn, and she's extreme, and she's even sort of mixed it with the B-grade, Paris Dior and Willinger Beast. So she came down here. I think she's looking for the dry track. She's going to find that on Saturday, dry track than what she saw in the autumn in Sydney. She started 250 one day against Fireburn. The market's got to go on a pretty good level. I think everything will work out for her here. I've had a really good crack at sort of $8. I reckon she starts clear favourite. Wouldn't even be shocked if she started favourite. So suggest backing her early. I think the only danger is I'm Loving You. If she's getting over the top of a slate, she's too good. But I think with the map advantage and all those things considered, Lady Laguna should be a lot shorter and will be something that's hard to run down.
I think you nailed that. I think it's just it might be in a really sticky spot. I'm Loving You. I couldn't back it with anyone else but D Lane sort of on it at the Valley, but I sort of trust him around that.
I think you could really bet up Lady Laguna. You're getting the price, and you could probably save I'm Loving You. I wouldn't be shocked if you got better on the day. I'm Loving You closer to $4. So I'd be making a good book now. Lady Laguna. I think she starts much shorter than 8. She's in the 650. I wouldn't be shocked if she started, 5s, even 450. I think the market really has a good look at her.
No Troach, no love for Troach.
My way with Troach is she's got all 1,100 metre form. This is 1,200.
Yeah, 1,200 is the query.
She's going to be right there. We're going to have to get past Troach on Lady Laguna because she'll lead. But I'm backing her in over 1,200 that she can do it. I thought she was well enough found given the no 1,200 metre form, but I think she'll run a good race. She'll probably be in the placings. But that was probably my knock with her. She's out of the Rosebud, which is seeming like a hot form race. Yeah.
If it had 1,200
I think
form,
Lady Laguna just might be a bit stronger than her late. So I'm happy betting up there at sort of 650. I think she's a place moral if you're that way inclined, but 650 looks a really good bet.
Outstanding stuff. All right, if you want more of Nico's stuff, it's $25 a week, and he covers Saturday and Wednesday metros, so he's your best bet through the Spring Carnival. Let's have a look at Sydney with you, Walt, on Saturday. I thought you were going to fall asleep there for a minute, Walt.
I'm all right.
You still with us?
All right. I'm just trying to goose fibre.
Huh?
It's got too much going on in my brain. What do we got here? Well, what is it? 7 metre rail anyway.
Randwick race 3 here, and the favourite is Jai Lee at $4.60. Rubenocki is $5.50, and then you got a horse like Duchy of Savoy $6, and then Party for One $9.50. Sneaky Page $11, and then you got Shahonka at $13, and horses like Never Second at the $14 mark. I've missed Hoover Lucy, good name for a horse, $7.50. A couple of Hoover Lucy's. And the replay we're going to have a look at here is Rubenocki leading in the proven thoroughbred colours, who are airborne.
Key to this horse, I think, obviously the inside was no good this day. I think he's a real sort of wide gate horse, and this day he drew 2, had to kick up. You can see the 2 outside him. They didn't go super fast, but he's just a horse that sort of likes to get into his sort of momentum to find his stride, and I think sort of the wide gate is the key to him on Saturday. Here, the inside was absolutely cast. This trainer's airborne. He does find a few jockeys that kills me, old J Pride, but his horses are flying. Backing up 7 days later, I've got no problem with. And just a race by default. Like, you've got probably Shahonka and Kalesina, the 2 other on-speed horses. He should take care of them. You've got stalkers like Sneaky Page and Duchy of Savoy's a bit like Nico was talking about Troach. It's just got to run strong 1100, happy to take it on.
Let's have a look at the trial of Party for One. Let's
talk
this
about
up.
Party for One, my most hated horse.
It's buried back on the fence.
So same trainer. This horse has just been unlucky for like 2 preps. Does go well fresh. Interesting, the blinkers off. Does scare me a little bit with his stable. It did peak with blinkers on last time in, but I just think it's so far down in grade here that it's still the scary horse. Reggie Bayliss, as we we're just talking about, so a jockey that scares the pants off you as well. And he's riding this one. I'd love this horse to find James McDonald one day. I think it could win a good race. But, it's the opposite. If they go too quick here, it's the closer for me and the classy closer. And I was just saying, I found Hoover Lucy is a dangerous horse in the race. I thought it'd be 25 to 1. It's only $7. So, I think Rubenocki's clearly the horse to run down. And Party for One's just the horse I don't want to beat me, because I know how good she is, and she's got everything against her she can probably have on Saturday, but she's still just better than these horses if everything goes to plan.
Gets a nice pilot too. Dylan Gibbons claiming through. A lot of people are saying that's just a luxury, Ruben.
Well, it is on these sorts of horses, and I don't mind if he can go a bit quick if he does anything wrong, Dylan, and I don't mind if he goes a bit quick on this horse. He's sort of back in trip, hard fit, up on speed. 7 metre rail, they probably should maybe get, won't matter. It shouldn't be getting anything a track like it saw last week, that's for sure.
7 into 550. Did you knock that price off?
That wasn't me. No, that definitely wasn't me. I thought, I think they might have even set better than 7 other places. It just sort of stands out from a map, and there's a lot of positives for this horse in this race.
Did you get the keys and you knocked that price off?
Absolutely not. No,
because
what time was it? I just worked out. I thought it was Wyong Cup today because I clicked tomorrow at on the dynamic odds feed, but it was after midnight.
You don't even know what day it is, do you?
I literally don't. I literally don't. This time of year, they all roll into one.
Nice and sharp for spring.
Yeah,
I love it. Poor old Walt. He dived here quickly because he had a Father's Day barbecue sausage sizzle this morning and left in tears, and then we weren't even ready, so it could have started 15 minutes later.
I've been classified as a problem gambler because 84 of my transactions in the Commonwealth are on betting accounts. Like, I'm like, 84, I think that's low. I thought it'd be higher.
I tell you what, if we actually recorded the 20 minutes before we actually turned the cameras on up here at the Gold Coast, it would make the best TV. The show would be probably off and we'd all be cancelled and it'd be done and dusted. But I tell you what, it'd be more entertaining than the show.
You just wonder.
I just want to put a camera on you and follow you
every time the phone rings, my poor missus, she's like,
Jesus
she can
Christ.
hear me. She comes up, what's happened this time? Oh, Jesus.
He can find trouble, our mate Walt.
Anyway, paddle on. Next.
Imagine if you're drunk, how much trouble you'd find then. Race 8, the Chelmsford Stakes here. It's a cracker, this one. The 1,600 metre race is a glaring omission and scratching. It's Profondo. Not sure what Richard Litt's thinking here, but had this race absolutely cold.
Yeah.
But decided to go the other way, so we can talk about that a little bit later. But Surefire's a favourite here, $3.60. Monophilia, $4.40. Moanga, $5.50. Benno, who's DK, was been spruiking, might have had a little bet here in a Group 2, 13 into $9.50. Numerian. My horse, oh God, I spec this horse at big odds, and then it just put 2 together at decent prices. Gosford Eagle Farm just absolutely makes me sick. And then you've got a horse like Stockman, $16 Night to Order, who is a bit of a nightmare horse for you there, Walt. $18 and Allegron, $21. Crystal Pegasus, who had that picket fence down in Melbourne, $21. And then No Compromise, another one of ours. Feels like we've backed all these horses and they've given us nightmares on various occasions. And then you got Entente, Cucaracha, and Better, the rest at sort of $34 sort of onwards. But Walt, I'll tell you what, surefire, you put the Waller cap back on. This
I'm
is recipe.
To tip it, but
this is recipe for disaster.
Is that what I'm doing? I'm refusing to take responsibility for it if it loses.
So who are you going to blame? Mug Punter.
Yeah.
So this is the Mug Punter tip.
Everything against Surefire here. They did run along a little bit, but first up, unsuitable trip on paper, and it just, like, I think it ran second fastest last 200 of the day. It was up there in the last 8, 6, 4, 2s, which this horse shouldn't do first up. On, like, profile-wise, I think it was first up 2,000 last time in, second up 2,400. So whether they've worked out this horse, maybe, 2,000 might see him out, or who knows. But, the typical Waller horse that goes like a genuine rocket there, it's not ideally placed here, like handicap-wise, and that was obviously, an easier race. But the way it went there, the horses that it's up against here in the stages, they're the preparation. Mawunga, obviously, I don't know what you do with its run the other day. Montefilia first up. I thought it only trialled okay, and she's definitely not, worried about this race. If he bangs Surefire into the first 4 or 5 from the wide draw, I fail to see how he doesn't run extremely well. Benno, the line through Benno, you either take the same line as DK, like what the hell is that form? But Benno and Stockman both went like rockets there. Benno is the only horse that made that sort of ground on the inside basically all day. So no matter how you see it, it went like a rocket, but now it gets Willie Pike, and I'm dead set, mate. If there's a bloke more gone than me, it's Willie Pike. Yeah, it's Willie Pike. So, mate, number 18 in the world.
Jockey.
What the heck? He's dead set not number 18 if he went to Newcastle on a Saturday. Anyhow, he'll probably win now. But, yeah, Surefire just has to run well. But it won't. It won't, but it has to. Benno was, I guess, the eye catcher first up, and DK's got a little mini horn for it. But I'm a little bit worried about this horse. Is his grand final day, what are they thinking, a Cox Plate? Are they thinking a Caulfield Cup? I worry that he might just come off a bit second up here. He will. Oh, yeah, he has to, and that's it. And I'm not having a go at Willie again, but he's not. He needs a strong rider, and he needs to be put into a race to win this sort of race. So you got James versus Willie. It's not a fair fight.
Yeah, well, Walt knows more about it than me, but I'd say more, maybe Benno's no star, I'd say more the knocks on Animo. He was given a windburn there.
Quite possibly, right? Absolutely.
Yeah. So the jury's out on that race first up. Everyone still wants to tell you Animo's moral all the time, but anyway, we'll wait and see what happens next time. But
the thing is that where he was in the track, and that's it. Like, no matter how you look at it, his run was excellent, Benno. Whether the race was shit or not, the run was excellent.
For sure. So,
Nico?
Grey in the wet, isn't he? A grey in the wet? Isn't he?
Oh,
grey in the wet?
I don't think it'll be that wet.
Oh, it's not going to be that wet. All right. So it's just soft. Was it soft 7 at the moment? It's going to dry out.
Yeah, I think I sort of chimed into Surefire in the Sydney Cup from memory, and he was like he's coming out some like real fast on races last reps, run some big figures, ran a big figure first up on a lot of different sort of ratings. I mean, Dan O was giving him a good spruik after his first up win there. He's second favourite for the Caulfield Cup, this horse. I think that's something that hasn't really been talked about too much. He's into $15.
Futures. You don't get us started on futures, Nico. We didn't even get there last week.
We should have.
We put on the rundown for next week's scoop. Futures.
But there's been a few that have had a look. He's been 50s into 15s. So
that would have taken $50.
I first did that. Remember that win? It was insane. Like he just about butchered it. They went 100 and it come wide and just mowed him down. I think that was 2,000. Yep. And then its run second up was enormous 2,400. What do you make of, what was that, 1,400 the other day, or 15, now 16? It just seems like
just a good horse. Like he's had 4 runs in Australia here for 2 wins, probably should have been 3, and a brutal Sydney Cup that probably saw the end of him third up. Like he just might be a good horse.
Yeah, that's it. Like the way he went there the other day, I'm not saying he can't win any race. Caulfield Cup, Cox Plate, whatever.
I love a good horse. Love a good horse.
Yeah. Good tough horse.
Hard to beat.
Used to be video comment back in the Mark Reed days. But there's no H.
No H.
So it was good ORSE.
Good horse.
Good horse. Not many got it, but when someone put that in there, good horse. especially if it was a maiden or something. Shit.
It's a good day up there in Sydney Saturday. Furious, the tramway, plenty of good races. So punters better get their teeth stuck into the form. There's plenty of angles there.
Tell you what, imagine how many futures bets would have gone awry with Uncommon James. Like lots of people just smacking him in the Sir Rupert Clark and
why?
Well, his 50's into $5.
Oh, yeah, but what is that? Is that actually a bet?
Tipping.
Has anyone placed a bet?
That's right.
Oh,
Exactly.
Far out.
Yes, we haven't got to. We didn't get there last week with the futures.
What's the solution? MBLs on futures?
Oh, who knows?
You
But
have to mark it up.
that's
Bet.
something hasn't been spoken about.
But even then, that doesn't solve it, does it?
You can't really get on.
You get on to win 2,000 4 months out. What's the point? That used to be a good fun to couple a few up, get them going for 50, 100,000, like life-changing result of $50, and you can't do it.
Maybe that's the solution. If the market percentage is over 150%, you have to bet triple.
Well, even that, it's just like they don't want it. Anything that you can hurt people at, you're gone. It's cast aside. It's not part of it. They're not bookmakers. Just don't stop calling them bookmakers. 100%. They're poker machines. Stop calling them bookmakers.
Okay, we'll go
We're
to race
sponsored by
9
the only
at
bookmaker. The rest of them are poker machines.
True. And then race 1, and them bowing out shows that bookmakers are not welcome. They're not. They're taxed out. They can't be bookmakers, even if they want to be.
Race 9 at Randwick is a 1,200 metre benchmark 78. It's a beautiful little race here. Silent Impact's the favourite, a horse that Walt tipped up successfully on this show, $4.20. Starman $6.50, Arbitration $8, Zarastro $8, Hell I Am $8.50. I love the name of that. Sebenak $13, Larkspur $14, and Pioneer River $14, and then Geo's $15 and $20 or better. The rest, including War Eternal. And the horse that we're going to have a look at, we're going to have a look at 2. This is Sebenak in the Lime, and he's way out the back, and it's pretty ugly scenes here.
Just had a bit of a look around. It definitely wasn't the right place out wide here. So as opposed to the other replay we just saw where the fence was cast, now we're down the outside cast. So what was that? Miss Hellfire there ran quite well yesterday. I think it was only Wednesday form in Sydney, but that Joe Roots that beat it yesterday is a rocket. This Sebenak just sort of had a look around for me. Got quite keen early, dragged out of the race, and then just sort of came down the outside. He's a bit jury out, but the big drop in grade, a race where it looks like there's just untold possible pressure and horses that are vulnerable first up. I just thought it was worth taking the risk on this horse to Randwick.
Kaboo was dominant on the weekend, absolutely. Donkey licked him, and and he's since gone amiss, so that's another one for the futures scrap heap.
Futures battlers. Yeah.
War Eternal's the other trial that we're going to have a look at here, and Nico mentioned the Z-word Zaki, and War Eternal's on his outside here, and he's a little bit more hard-ridden, or clearly, than Zaki.
I think this first part's really important, though, that he just showed really on the money toe and no blinkers. I think he's not a blinkers horse. I don't think he stays. I don't think 1,200 metres ideal for him, but Bjorny at the start of these sort of spring carnivals, he likes to try and knock as many races over as he can, and the intent that he shows here in this trial to sort of give Zaki a run for his money. They do run decent time. What is he, 20 to 1 or something crazy?
Big price.
I think that's a silly price for a very good horse. If you say that he's a 1,400 metre miler, then he profiles really well for this race first up. Over 1,200, he's got 61.5, which is not ideal, but we're talking about taking $21 about a horse here who's at least shown that he's come back. Yeah, what's the horse on the inside? Even money in a Group 2 or something, or Group 1, is it? Group 1 on Saturday. So, I'm not. The trial's not the most important thing for. I just think this horse is a very underrated horse that was maybe set for the wrong races last prep and shown that he's come back in good order, and we're getting 21 about him in an open race.
Silent Impact, not ready?
I just thought his second trial was really average, and when you're talking about horses getting to different levels, I think he's kind of closer to his ceiling than horses like Sebenak and War Eternal are. And there's a lot of I think Larkspur runs in a couple of places. It's in Wyong today, which is not today; it's tomorrow. Just in case you're checking, because it's not Friday; it's Thursday. I thought it went really well up the inside the same day that Benno did, but it's going to find a pretty ordinary spot here. Most of them I can poke holes in their form, or there's a few Waller scary horses there. They're in every race, aren't they? Starman, Zarastro, Geo. They're all first up, and they all look like they don't have the upside that Sebenak and War Eternal have to me.
He's one of your horses, Nico Sebenak. Have you got any opinion on this race?
Yeah, we caught him. I think the only win he had. I think we caught him on debut. He's in Melbourne as well, which will hurt Walt. But he was a really good run there, and the Rosebud Caboose won out of it. Sweet Ride won out of it. Spacewalk ran really well. Miss Hellfire ran well yesterday. So it's a good form race. He was the quickest late. He was the quickest last 200, 10th fastest last 200 of the day. So a lot of ticks in his favour. I think he came to Melbourne. He's a rock solid chance at around sort of $7. But yeah, you could definitely have a good look at him. There's a few sort of chinky horses here, isn't there? Like Silent Impact goes well. I'd be surprised if Sarastro ever won another race. Starman's a bit sort of chinky, isn't he? So it's a bit up for grabs, and he's a progressive horse. Like he ran fourth in a Blue Diamond, and he ran in a slipper, and now he's $13 in a BM84. Like I know it's not grouse form a lot of the time, but it can't be that bad, surely. So
you look at it, it's not something you want to have your last on, but it's an auto bet.
It's a horse with talent at double figures.
Upside, talent and improvement in the tank.
And they're going to go quick. And I don't mind a wide draw at Randwick. I'd much rather him draw wide than one. It's a bit of an auto bet.
Having a look at the Inglis Plate down at Moonee Valley too, I'd rather him spin around up in Sydney. You got Charlemagne, who goes pretty good around the valley, and then you got Mullane, who was scintillating. And then Sebenak's going to get back from barrier 4. You're going to be in the ruck, as DK calls
I think
it.
if they send it round in Sydney, this is definitely not its target.
No.
But it looks like a race where they'd love to build his confidence towards whatever next start is. And even if they send him to Melbourne, that's not his target. It's next start in Sydney.
I was just going to say, but there's a couple. But there's a couple of chinks. Charlemagne's a query 1200. And Mullane's going to have to go back behind Sebenak. So it didn't shape poor. I didn't think it shaped too poorly for him that race in Melbourne. So it'll be interesting to see where they go.
Trav was tipping him. He was keen in Melbourne.
Was he?
So, yep.
Yeah. On both states and just hang on for dear life. But definitely a big price. Looks big odds at severe drop in class. All right, if you want any more of Walt's action, it's racingwatch.com.au, and then you join the Discord channel. And I tell you what, hang on for dear life because there's action aplenty. They'll be betting on the Live Golf this week. They'll be finding rorts left, right, and centre. The darts. It's all there. If you're not in his Discord, you're costing yourself loot.
Darts Rort's got up 2 out of the 3 legs here in Australia. The Darts Rort was anyone who plays. You back the Australian to go the furthest in the tournament, whoever plays the girl. What's her name? Can't remember. Fallon Sherrick. And 2 out of the 3 legs. They got no idea. 20-1, 2 out of 3 weeks. It's lob the Darts Rort. Go the Darts Rort.
It's barely English. I need a translator for that. I got no idea. But if you want action, as I said, it's just it's not limited to racing. There's sport, there's rugby league, there's commentary on the rugby league.
Crypto.
Bloody, what's his name gets knocked out on Friday night. Radley. There's bloody people that are diagnosing what he's happened, how long is he out for, this, that, the other. I tell you what, if you hate your missus, jump in a Discord of Waltz and you'll be addicted to it. You'll sit there and you'll be betting on all this stuff, and it's a good bunch of blokes.
Arnie Julie's dog mail.
Do we get the Wednesday Sandown Lay of the Days in there as well, too? Are they in there as well?
Yeah, we get them all, mate. We get everything. You get everything. And then I know, it's
a burger with a lot.
When people go head to head too, it's the best. It's just you never shorten of an opinion in there. That's the best part.
Yeah, it's got it all. So it's very entertaining, the chat room. So racingwatch.com.au. It's worth the admission fee. Let's hear from old mate Donny.
G'day team. Donny here with Donny's best for this weekend's racing. We're going down to Moonee Valley again for the Group 2 McEwen. I think there's a Queenslander that's underestimated again. Zoo Style for Damien Oliver. It's $7 currently. It's a 1,000-metre absolute speed machine. It's 1,000-metre specialist. It's going to lead. There's a lot of talk this week about how the Moonee Valley surface is going to favour the on-pacers. This thing should lead easily. It's going to be extremely hard to catch. The trial leading in was brilliant. Damien Oliver's on board. $7, I think it's a decent bet. So that's Moonee Valley Race 5, Zoo Style for the Queenslanders. And then we got a sneaky one at Wyong on Friday in Race 4. The horse is Transformation. This used to be a James Cummings trained horse, and it's since been transferred to the country. Its 2 trials leading in were sensational. Its first up run, it was thrown in the deep end. They took it into Rose Hill in a hot race. It got beat by Shades of Rose by about 7 lengths. The form out of that race is really good. There's been 3 winners since. They are Shades of Rose has won twice again, Sneaky Page and Twilight Affair. They've all come out of that race and won. And he got held up. He had Reece Jones on that day. Hugh Bowman jumps on Friday. At $14, you have to be on each way. So that's Race 4, number 4 at Wyong, Transformation on Friday. And Moonee Valley on Saturday, we got Race 5, number 4, Zoo Style. Good luck, boys.
Outstanding stuff, and just shows how versatile the Don is. Moonee Valley, Wyong, You see him in Brisbane, he'll just pop up anywhere. And it's an interesting one, the McEwen. He's just gone for Zoo style there with D. Oliver, Golan, the Brisbane Raider straight to the front. Nico hinted that it might be just Leader's Paradise, which it normally is down there. Nico, just on that one first, Coolangatta's trial and that race in particular.
Yeah, Coolangatta jumped out, well, like nearly too good. Like, you know, when they go like that, DK, it's just nearly too good to be true how well she looks to be going. I'm always wary of the big sort of trial winners. Zoo Style is another that won a trial absolutely effortlessly. So
it wasn't Mar Eustace, I would be a bit more, but they try and look after him a bit. If it was Trent or something, you'd say, they might have left it all out there, but
So it's a little fascinating race. We're actually talking about it off air, part of the show that probably should be the show but isn't the show, like we were talking about before. But in the Congo's kind of got a tough map. Like if he wants to cross sort of Zoo Style and be right up there, Similian's going to be...
It's going to be on for that. It's going to be on early.
Annoying to both of them. Like he's got the blinkers on, back to the 1,000, got 52 kilos. And then Coolangatta's kind of just a stalker, probably just lurking. I don't think anything else is really in the race. They're going to probably... Away Game's probably the other lurker that's right there. So... Zoo Style probably has the best chance to get to be the one to get away with it. Like if they don't sort of take him on too much and he can get to the lead and Ollie kind of owns the race, it's probably going to be in favour of doing that on the day. So I can see why. Like the recent trial and a few things hearing from the camp sounds like he's back to somewhere near his best. And if he's at that, he's run figures before in his career, which would clearly see him winning a Group 2 around the Valley. So
they put up the favourite very short though, didn't they?
Yeah, she's 220.
Well, that was the theme of the day there, and I don't know if this is the new way with the new taxes of everything, where everything is going up even shorter again. I mean, Charlemagne's gone up short. There's other things, they just put them up, as short as we can. That's the theme of the day.
All those races they get hit around a bit, like all in on Monday. And that shapes the market. So that knocks them in and say they go up. Well, they went up 350, Mr. Brightside, in the Feehan, all in. Now he's been $2 pretty much ever since. Then he goes up $2 come race day. So they've kind of already know what the punters want to back before the acceptances are even
fishing out. Again. The fishing expedition for little risk.
So it's pretty easy going at the moment for him, isn't it?
I couldn't take the $2.20.
Yeah, I don't. It's all about the favourite, isn't it? I don't know what the hell you do with it. It's a nightmare of a race for me. You could back Zoo Style because it's $7 and it could find the front and whatever, but the favourite just could do anything. I don't know.
Scary. I think DK nails it. Look, that camp just terrifies you. So it nearly becomes just a no-bet race for me.
Yeah, I couldn't back in the Congo to beat it, which then you go, the favourite, I understand why it's so short. Zoo Style, just, the draw and everything.
You know in the Congo better than anyone. 1,000. The first go at 1,002 in the Congo.
Doesn't make sense to me. It seems like a barrier trial for me. It's just, it'll start double figures surely.
Yep.
But what do you do with Coolangatta? I
Rothfire,
don't know.
what do you do?
And it was an ugly 2-year-old. Like it was a horse that had massive physical maturity possibilities. And if Nico saw it Saturday and went different horse, who knows what it's going to do.
I won't even ask you about Wyong Race 4, number 4 transformation, because you don't even know what day it is.
Well, I did look at Wyong because I thought it was today, but it's not a great betting track. It is probably one of the worst betting tracks in this meeting, especially because you get big fields. It's such a little dogleggy, momentum, laney track that I find it extremely difficult to bet at Wyong with confidence.
What's J-Mac going to, speaking of Wyong, what's J-Mac going to do on Catalan from barrier 16 in the Mona Lisa, 17 in the Mona Lisa?
That's what I mean. It's just not a track that's built for 16 runners around it. And, inside goes off and you've got to be there on the turn. And it's just, you got to ride them ugly to win. Josh rides the place really well because he's just not afraid. He's done it for so long. You know how to ride the track. Doesn't matter how ugly it looks. You just got to be there and wide. And so it's just a nightmare.
Can't wait
Does
for that
build
tomorrow.
your confidence?
I don't know. I'd rather just have a little peanut on transformation. Donny might have found it. He's knocked the price off 17 to 12. Wyong race 4, number 4 on Friday. So here's the TopSport Steam this week, and race 3, number 1, Rubinoki, 600 at $7. So Tristan has copped a pretty cheap tip there. If Walt's tipping this horse, it'll just keep going off, and if it's going to find the front, it'll be one-way traffic, that is for sure. The next one is race 1, number 9, Optimo, 500 at $15. For memory, Walt, this is not a bad run last start, Optimo.
Yeah, so that one, I'll let you, it goes Nash Rawiller. It was Sleepy Nash to K. O'Hara, gate 15. How do you line that up over 1,000 metres or whatever? It was 1,100, I think, Saturday. How do you line that one up?
Oh, scary.
I think it's missing a 0.
Scary. You got Opal Ridge and Participator
It's
who
a
are
much, it's a good race too.
Yeah, they look...
It probably will give them 36.8 length start at the furlong.
Yeah, Kathy will be asleep on it, I would have thought. Race 6, number 5, Willinga Beast is the next one here. Again, it takes on She's Extreme and In Secret and finds a really hot field there.
The thing it has is 2 buster trials before, so like gave it a couple of really good trials before the first up run. Found a little bit wanting there, like the right, but it did come from that inside section a little bit further back. So like a slow run race where it had to get put into the race early in the wrong part, and when it got exposed and looked like it was going to win, it probably just ran out of puff. So it's got the fitness edge over just about all of these horses, but like you say, a lot of classy runners there are resuming. It was kind of the same setup as why I liked to Gotcha though that day. Like it was a similar race where a lot of horses, but this race you've got She's Extreme, She's a Belter that are all milers. So then 1,200 for them first up's not going to be a problem. The race where Zugotcha got away with it, they're all 1,000, 1,100 metre horses resuming at 12. So it's a very tough race. That is it. The Furious Stakes.
Moonee Valley race 7, number 13. You got the Behemoth Killer. We love this horse. Calypso Rain, 400 at $16. Finds a really, really different scenario in a hot race here. You got Corner Pocket, Prince of Boom, Rangers, one of yours.
It just seems like it's not going to be the theme of the day, sort of getting back and running on there. So, look, he's flying Calypso Rain, but I think he was 15, 16s last start late, wasn't he? Or he got to 14s late last start. I think that was probably the day to be having your 400 on compared to Saturday. There's a few sizable bets there.
They might be reinvesting winnings from the last one.
Felicia would give you a great run for your money there at around 30s in that race. Thought she was probably one of the best value runners of the day. I'd be happy to back her each way there.
Good luck on the weekend for the punt. DK, end of the month. Everyone resub and get on board DK. And Nico, you're out there again at the Valley. Beautiful. Needs a car. So if anyone else has if you've got a car for sale, just tweet at us and we'll put you in touch with Nico. He might buy your car if you're looking to offload one or you've got too many. And what about you, Grumpy?
Along, chip away, try and work out what day it is.
Try to get arrested.
Go from there. Whatever. Problem gambling. Just deal with that. Whatever. What can you do? Hurry up.
Birthday week.
How can you be a problem gambler when you're not allowed to gamble? So how can you be a problem gambler? Holy heck. Anyway,
happy birthday, DK.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, boys.
Hope you get a winner this weekend.
Hope so.
Fingers crossed. See you, Nico.
Thanks, boys.
Thanks, guys. Follow at BetDoctorTV and give us a subscribe in the YouTube channel and get around us. You can put us on the smart TV and you can watch our ugly mugs talk about the races. How good's that? Open a TopSport account and get to punting form if you want to take your betting to the next level. See you guys.